Morning, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. I regret that I have not been broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube for some time. I found the problem, I believe, yesterday. So this will be the first broadcast in a while. Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Can you hear me? Yes. Yay. Hello, Jim Dalton. Let me co-host you.
Good morning, sir. Nice to see you again. It's been a long time.
It's been a day and a half, it's true. It's either been a long time or no time at all. Well, here we are, coming together with a noble intention, waking up. There's that word, I. This I thinks of itself as Robert Beatty and is happy to see you. I am inhabiting a very quiet mind this morning. I've been up since around 5, just really hanging loose and looking forward to this time together. Because it's the thing one is supposed to do, I think. I'm going to say this. I am sitting in Portland, Oregon, Sunday, the 18th of April, 2021. The year of COVID, which doesn't seem to be going away very nicely, does it? I know there's a few of you that are in Canada, and Canada's getting creamed. Ontario has closed its borders to all non-essential travel. Toronto's ICUs are at 115% capacity. It's a challenging time. So this is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. portlandinsight.org. We're talking about, and who knows if it can come to pass, but we're talking about re-entering the center, or opening the center again in some fashion in August. There's 62 days of, wait, I can show you this. Well, these builders, here's the construction schedule. With dates and critical lines and what needs to be ordered when. Quite remarkable. There was a little bit of a breakthrough in the permit process Thursday, and it may mean that we're within 2 weeks of permits being issued, actually. So we'll see. But hopefully that will come soon. Anyway, you can find a great amount of information at portlandinsight.org. Also, for those of you on Facebook and YouTube, if you'd like to join us on Zoom, you can find the information there or also on robertbeatty.com. So, with no further ado, one of my probably top 10 favorite readings ever. Those of you that have been on retreat with me have heard this usually around day 3 or 4. It's from Lao Tzu, from the Hua Hu Ching, number 44. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I must turn this on. That's good. Okay. That's happening. Yes. This is the nature of the unenlightened mind. The sense organs, which are limited in scope and ability, randomly gather information. This partial information is arranged into judgments, which are based on previous judgments, which are usually based on someone else's foolish ideas. These false concepts and ideas are then stored in a highly selective memory system. Distortion upon distortion, the mental energy flows constantly through contorted and inappropriate channels. And the more one uses the mind, the more confused one becomes. To eliminate this vexation of mind, it doesn't help to do something. This only reinforces the mind's mechanics. Dissolving the mind is instead a matter of not doing. Simply avoid becoming attached to what you see and think. Relinquish the notion that you are separated from the all-knowing mind of the universe. Then you can recover your original pure insight and see through all illusions. Knowing nothing, you will be aware of everything. Remember, because clarity and awakening are within your own nature, they are regained without ever moving an inch. Relinquish the notion that you are separated from the all-knowing mind of the universe. I love that line. Then you can recover your original pure insight and see through all illusions. Knowing nothing, you will be aware of everything. Remember, because clarity and awakening are within your own nature, they are regained without ever moving an inch. And let us remind ourselves of the refuges, taking refuge in being awake. Awake, what does that mean? Can you be aware of your body touching the chair? Or aware of hearing these sounds? Or maybe think about, what are you going to be doing this afternoon? And know that you're thinking. Know that thinking is happening. Refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma, in the way things actually are, in the truths of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and the mystery of the emptiness of self. Everything really is impermanent. The Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha and the community of practice. Take a moment, if your eyes are open, to look at who's here. These are really, probably you've never met most of these people. Some of you I've never met in person. However, is your practice not strengthened by the fact that there are these other people showing up in their little postage stamps? Mine is. And people have shown up like this for thousands of years. Mostly they've walked into a Dharma hall and been together that way. And there's been the transmission of these teachings down through 2,600 years. 2,600 years. In terms of human presence with this brain on the planet, it's nothing. I mean, it's the last few moments. But it's 120 to 150 generations of teacher to student transmission. So we're part of something rather remarkable. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Imagine that we're part of something vastly bigger than ourselves. Maybe the universe. And so I invite you to ask yourself, why are you here right now? What's motivating you? It's a Sunday morning. There's so much you could be doing. And yet here you are, gathering together to do something. Something that has a lot less to do with doing than not doing, but still. So please find yourself in a comfortable upright posture. And notice the fact of awareness. Our intention is to be mindful. What are the obvious objects of awareness? There's the body that sits here. There's the contact of the body with the clothing. There's the pressure where the body connects with the chair. There's the life in the hands. Notice the agility of this awareness. It can open in the legs, in the feet. In the face. There may well be thoughts. There could be a lot of thoughts. Notice that awareness can embrace them too. The fact of thinking. And the body breathes. It's been doing this breathing since the moment of your birth. And it will do this until the moment of your death. We can use breathing to stabilize the mind. We can notice that each breath has a beginning. It has a rising to fullness. A decline, and then a vanishing. We can practice our meditation as though there's somewhere to get to. I'm going to achieve that particular tranquility or focus I had last time or last week. I'm going to escape these unpleasant thoughts or this problem that's nagging at me. We can also practice with the intention simply to know what's happening. Like a naturalist watching a species. How does it live? How does it reproduce? What are the conditions required for the survival of the species? This brings up the possibility of the attitude that this moment is like this. It's exactly like this. And my intention is to be present, aware, to know about being aware. And using breathing for stability, we can notice the beginning, the middle, the ending of a breath. Amidst the wandering minds, you might discover that there's nothing linear about the wandering minds at all. The mind can produce anything. Fortunately, the contents are of no importance. The contents of mind provide objects that arise and pass away. You will perhaps notice how thoughts, memories, plans come along, and awareness completely disappears. And then a few moments or minutes later, there's mindfulness again. And the thought is seen and known as something that arose and passed away. Nothing personal to it at all, just a thought. Like a cloud. And we don't have to fight against or try to banish these thoughts. They're just natural phenomena. And there's this body that's completely, remarkably alive. Awareness can receive that, arise with that. Use that and its breathing as a handrail, a guidepost. Rising and falling of the chest and abdomen as stability, comfort. Perhaps your environment is very quiet. Or maybe there are some extraneous environmental sounds, including this voice for that matter. There's no reason for sounds to be disruptive. They're only disruptive if we believe there shouldn't be sounds. Only if we believe we can only meditate if it's silent. Sounds, too, are natural phenomena. Observing how awareness can embrace sounds. Is the mind quiet or busy? Are the hindrances present? Perhaps there's wanting, desiring, craving something. Or maybe there's disliking, subtle to great. I want something different to happen. Or maybe there's restlessness and agitation, worry, or sleepy dullness, sloth and torpor, or doubt. None of these are any problem at all. They all provide the opportunity of being aware. In our curiosity, we can notice, are we practicing with love? Is there a willingness for embracing life as it is? And we can remind ourselves of the intention: I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I find this in this moment. I aspire to love and accept the experience of this moment. The mood, the thoughts, the personality quirks, the pain, the joy. The anger, the contractedness, the fearfulness, the self-righteousness, all of it. And of course, there will be discomfort, suffering, pain. When this arises, I aspire to hold myself in sweet compassion, kindness. Present with awareness of this moment. When we sit for longer periods of time, discomforts arise. Normal discomforts. Do they provoke disliking, fear? And what about the impulse to move, to stretch, to relieve them? One of the reasons we sit still is to illuminate this aversion toward discomfort and the quite automatic, unconscious efforts to relieve discomfort. And please now let us notice how it's possible to feel, to know, to be aware of the body touching the chair, the cushion, the floor. To bring bare attention to the life in what we call the hands. Into the feet. The face. The left cheek. The right cheek. The tongue. Noticing the aliveness in the upper lip, where the air flows in and out of the nostrils. And the eyes. The eyes, not in their seeing capacity, but in their being sensations. And what does it take to bring the eyes from closed to open? There must be an intention. Intention precedes all actions. So please notice in mind the intention to open the eyes before doing it, way before doing it. And the realm of intention is a different realm of observation than the body itself. And then at some time, before too long, let that intention operationalize itself. Let it manifest. And there's then a certain effort, a certain lifting of the eyelids. But really be present in them in this moment. Lifting of the eyelids. And notice a whole new realm occurs. The realm of seeing, of vision, awareness of seeing. Seeing, but don't imagine don't abandon the mindfulness. Awake to seeing. It doesn't take effort so much as remembering to be aware of seeing. Seeing. And when my, quote, eyes come open, and the seeing is you, that gets even more interesting. Right? Each person on this screen is one of a kind, ever. With all their incredible complexities and history, and with their suffering and their joy, I really haven't felt isolated during this year. Now I do have a partner and children, child at this point. But aside from that, there's this. Seeing, knowing, gratitude. It's also kind of fun to notice when the eye moves from one postage stamp to the next, to be aware of that, changing, recognizing. Huh. I do something like this with my little dog every day, and our big old black lab as well. Though it's a little more intentional with Buddha, who almost died a week ago from eating chocolate. He came as close to the brink as one does. But he got a reprieve. And he doesn't like me to look into his eyes. That's too intimidating in Dogville. But he sure likes me to fluff up his ears for a few minutes. I have a couple of or three announcements, see what I can remember here. One is that tonight at 6 o'clock, Kendall Summers will be doing her twice a month Insight and Metta Loving Kindness evening at PIMC. You can get the link for that at the portlandinsight.org website. My study group, an eight session over 11 weeks encouragement to practice group. We will be reading together the When Awareness Becomes Natural book by U Tejaniya. A marvelous, interesting, different perspectives on practice. That starts on next Wednesday night. And then Doug Pullen starts a week later on Thursday, an introduction to heart practices, the loving kindness and compassion and so on. Am I missing anything huge, Jim? Oh, yeah. Um, the first Saturday of next month, Gary Sanders is leading a 9 o'clock till 2 meditation. Anything else, Jim?
I think this is the week for the social engagement group to join on. I think that's a Wednesday too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's an announcement on the chat now.
Oh, good. Well, I think I think it's time for you to do some movement with folks if you wish, Jim.
Your quiet mind was contagious. I almost don't feel like standing up, but I will. And I invite you to join me and be, spend a little time practicing with mindfulness of the body, body in motion. All right. Become aware of standing, of feet touching a surface, and start moving from one leg to the other like you're pouring all your attention into one leg as it engages with the floor, and then switch. Intend to move over here. Intend to move over there. Find some inner sense of engagement on one side, engagement with the other side, turning a little bit. The foundation is built across the surface of the soles of the feet, but then moving the hips, bringing one hip forward and then the other to just slowly come across the center line of your imaginary stance here. So we have feet in touch with the floor. We have ankles. We can rock into our feet on our toes and back on our heels, and our ankles have to cooperate with that and get coordinated. Move into one leg and turn. Move into another other leg and turn, and feel the knees. The knees have to be coordinated with that turning. When our intention is to pour over and turn, then there's this automatic collaboration between all sorts of areas of the body. The movement in the knees, the movement in the ankles, the movement in the feet get organized, and then we bring our attention into our hips. It's all cooperating. You can reach across with one arm, raise the hand up to the shoulders, come across and let it fade away. The movement begins by turning and lifting, continues across, and then down. But it happens from the inside, without the words. The attention can be anywhere in the arm, shoulder down to the fingertips, or it can be the whole gesture. The attention is sometimes like a laser right on the edge of the elbow, sometimes the entire torso twisting, settling, the other side rising, staying with the whole journey. Pausing, feeling the motion end, and then little adjustments. Relatively still, but never totally still. Lifting both arms together and releasing. Each side knowing how to stay in sync with the other side. We just begin lifting with the intention of both arms moving together, and then let one rest and just move one all the way up. Stretching, 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 releasing. Staying with each subtle adjustment, down, down. Noticing the pull of gravity on the arms from the shoulders, soft shoulders, lifting the other arm up, slowly, slowly, aware of each change, each adjustment, stretching, stretching, stretching. Pausing to just breathe. Attending to the rib cage, different on one side than the other. And releasing. Releasing, relaxing, feeling gravity absorb the weight of the arm and then both arms. Sinking and opening to the side. Feeling that double stretch, both arms extended out of the shoulder socket. Open shoulder, open shoulder. Breathing. Feeling the shape of the rib cage change. Turning the palms down and just floating down. opening out again to the side till we get up to shoulder height and just extend out to the side. Breathe, opening the rib cage. Continuing up, stretching the fingers higher and higher and higher. Breathing. And releasing down. Soft wrists, soft elbows, soft shoulders. Breathing, continuing, changing. And let's just put our hands on our hips and move the hips in a circle. Over to one side, across the front, over to the other side and back. And just become aware of all of the cooperation, bones and muscles and tendons in the hips, moving together to create this feeling of a continuous stretch from one direction and then another, pausing for a moment on one side, letting the weight engage on one side and then changing the direction of this circling, being there for each adjustment. And then dropping the arms, extending out and up and down again. Feel how the mood changes when we change the speed.
These things are really stupid.
Once more. Bringing the palms together in gratitude.
That's good relief.
And we'll see you again next week. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to move with people and have a pause in our busyness to just focus on the breath, on the body.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton.
You're welcome.
Did you turn Spotlight on intentionally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm never sure when to use it and when not.
I had a lot of practice yesterday.
Yeah.
During the workshop, I turn it on, move, turn it off, sit. Listen to poetry, listen to conversation, turn it back on. All the things we've learned in the last year about Zoom software.
Really, it's true. It's true. There. That's me. Sort of. Frank. Hello, dear Frank. Want to say hi?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Love from Germany to you. Nice to see you and reconnect with everybody. Nice to see you too, Robert. Thank you.
We have a grand plan that I'm going to come to Germany in 2022. We're gonna teach a retreat together.
Yes. In the retreat center which Bruce Dennison founded way back in the 1970, beginning of 80s. Yes, we will teach there. You will sleep in her bed.
Ah! I miss her. I still miss her. Well, today I am enamored about mindfulness. Enamored by mindfulness, I guess it'd be more accurate. And by awareness. And by being aware of being aware of being aware. And it's a little hard to know what to say. There's an experience I'd like to share with you, which, of course, one can only hint at with words, maybe with silence. And I think I want to start or continue from this moment. Where'd my gonger go? Huh. That's not it. Well, this would be more difficult to do without my gong striker. Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. So I invite you to sit comfortably and maybe let your eyes close. And come home to the body in its particulars, the particular of the pressure with the chair, the life in the toes, the life in the hands. And in fact, let's stay in the life of the hands. And notice the life in the baby finger of the left hand. The fourth or ring finger of the left hand. The middle finger. Now, is your experience of this that the finger is down there or over there, and you are observing it from somewhere else, maybe up in the head? Is that really your experience, or is that a thought? What about the experience of the index finger of the left hand? Just the actual experience, not a picture of the finger, not observing yourself observing this, just experiencing that which is the index finger of the left hand. And how about the thumb of the left hand? Is there anything about this experience which is thumb? Or is thumb completely extraneous? Is it a concept, an idea superimposed upon sensations, which we could call tingling, vibrating, etc., but even those are more words. What about coming into just the life of the left thumb? And how about the baby finger of the right hand? There's easily an image of that, but that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting inhabit the actual life sensations of the right hand baby finger. And then the fourth or ring finger of the right hand. And again, is the right hand fourth finger down there? And you are up here somewhere? Is that a real experience? Up here, down there? This is not a lightweight experiment. This can utterly change our lives. Allow awareness to open in the middle finger of the right hand. Where is this experience? What is this experience? And how about the index finger of the right hand? Is there anything right about this? Is there anything fingerish about this? Or is it something which is beyond any descriptors? How about the thumb of the right hand? You may well notice that the mind wanders. How does that happen? How does that noticing of the wandering mind, where does that take place? In a moment or two, some sound will appear. It will be the sound of a gong. I invite you to hear the sound and to see if, in fact, your experience is of a gong or of sound. What does that sound have to do with a gong in our direct experience? I'm going to ring it one more time. The idea of a gong out there, over there, is not our true experience. Hearing is our true experience. And where does that occur? I'm going to share with you now a guided meditation that will take a few minutes. This is a gift to you from Ruth Denison. She did this with me on at least one occasion, in which it didn't take 3 or 5 minutes, it took an hour and a half. Please become aware of your body sitting here, of the body sitting here. Let your eyes be closed or soft. And allow awareness to open in your tongue. And there's the tip of the tongue where we articulate certain sounds. The body of the tongue where we move food around. And then the tongue as it emerges from way deep in the throat. Doing nothing to change it. Simply being aware. Of the sensations deep in the throat. Become aware of the neck. And imagine a line from the front of the neck to the back of the neck. And go before the word neck. Abandon the word neck. Awareness of this region of the universe, which for shorthand reasons we call neck. Imagine another line from the left side to the right side of neck. Aware of the skin level and the interior. The mind may well wander, or more accurately, thoughts might arise. Where do they arise? Is it different from where neck is experienced? Allowing awareness to be open in the front of the neck, from the top of the chest to the underside of the jaw. in the back of the neck. And to the entirety of the space between front and back. The right side of the neck. Again and again, when you discover some idea or picture of neck, see how empty it is. What's real? What's directly experienceable? Left side of neck. Is neck down there, over there, somewhere observed from somewhere, or does neck exist in awareness? Non-local. Softening, opening, relaxing. So the wandering mind, sensations, sounds, experienced with bare attention, and also a knowing of where attention is, of knowing that awareness is. And now, inviting awareness, allowing awareness to open in what we think of as eyes. Is there anything I-ness about them, about this experience? Simply sensations. And awareness of this being the object of observation. I-ness. Where is this I-ness? Where are these sensations experienced? Is it perhaps the same place as the gong, the fingers, the throat, sounds? And now, observing the forming of an intention to allow the eyes to open. And now when you're ready, operationalizing that and seeing will probably occur. And then there are colors and forms. And this is a really big one. Just as with those other objects, where is this experienced? Is there really an objective outer world? Or is it really all existing in consciousness, seeing? A memory arises here, apparently here, of sitting in a little room at Brightonbush Hot Springs with Ruth Dennison. And her going on and on from way over an hour, simply in the throat. Another memory of my teacher Munindra and myself standing on the roof of the Burmese Vihara in Bodh Gaya. There were 3 different weddings happening at a distance, noisy music, and him asking, "Do you experience the music out there or is it in here?" Now, why is this of any importance? It is, I believe, because we create our illusion of selfness by having myself in relationship to that out there. I am in here, it is out there. And so one thing we can do, I think we're encouraged to do by the teachings of the Buddha, is really practice awareness in a continuous, frequent, ongoing, noticing which sense door is active. Just now, you probably can't hear it with this microphone, but oh yeah, there's a chainsaw going. Chainsaw. Do I hear a chainsaw? No, I hear sound. There is a sound heard. And from my prior experience, having to love chainsaws, I make a chainsaw out of it. So all day, every day, we can practice noticing what sense door is awareness with, and practice in a very light-handed sort of way. And partially, I'm speaking of this to escape from the notion that, well, I'm a meditator because I spend X minutes a day on my meditation cushion. More skillful would be, I'm a meditator because I meditate all the time. Because I'm really curious about when is hearing happening, when is touching happening, and what's the truth about these experiences? I keep having a a memory arise that I keep saying, no, don't do that. But I'll share it with you. My daughter Tara, 10 or 12 years ago, when she was in college, lived with a tribe in the Amazon, the tribe known as the Makushi, and their tribal leader was very involved with tribal leaders from all over the world. There's a whole, of course, now connection of that sort, but they'd been quite isolated, and he was honored. He was honored by some organization of the UN, and he was taken to Geneva, I think it was, to be recognized as this tremendous leader of indigenous people. And he, at the conference or at the presentation, they asked him, was there anything that they could offer him that he could take back to his village that would be really important to him? And apparently he lit up brilliantly and said, a chainsaw. Which, of course, for those people who hate chainsaws, it was not a fun thing. But, of course, they were using hand saws still. So, story. So mindfulness in all activities. Mindfulness when walking, when bathing, when conversing on the phone. And sometimes pausing and really diving into the moment, as I just tried to do with the gong and so on, to see, what is this awareness? How the heck does it happen? It's the strangest thing. Don't you think? It's so weird that we can be awake. And we take it for granted. It's like the fish in water. But where is mindfulness? Where is awareness attending right now? That's the question. So with that, I want to stop and see if you have questions or comments or any response to this. Well, let me ask this. Frank, did Ruth ever do that throat meditation thing with you?
Yes, she did. And I remember sessions with just the throat, and then sessions with that part of the head. And over many years, I always thought, how can she remember all these particular descriptions? I mean, they were always so accurate. And that was just a question I had in the back of my mind. I mean, I thought she is the greatest instructor. And then only like 20 years down the road, when she again was guiding me, and all of a sudden I understood. And the clue I got was that she was just describing what she felt in the moment.
Exactly. Right. Mm-hmm.
And I opened my eyes and said to her, Ruth, I think I know how you do it. Uh-huh. And then she said, tell me. So I described what I thought, what I had discovered. And then she said to me, wisdom is acknowledging wisdom. So she said, yes, your observation was correct.
Beautiful. Now, of course, it does take some development of the enlightenment factors: mindfulness, concentration, equanimity, curiosity, persistence, to be able to decide, I am going to inhabit this little region right here. And when the mind wanders, come back to this, and to really dive into this. So it is something that we develop over time. this capacity of presence and exploration.
Robert, it's Joan.
Hello, Joan.
How are you? I found when I was focusing, when you were talking about the neck, and I was focusing on the neck, that I started feeling pain in the neck, and just a strain in the neck. And I was wondering, and now I'm a little confused, because I was wondering if I was too focused on one thing versus the whole experience. And yet you said just now it's important to sort of be focused.
Well, one possibility is that the strain that you were experiencing had been there all along, and that by abiding there, it made that strain apparent. And another was that you were trying hard, and somehow or another, trying hard included striving to tighten the neck. It's like, and in either case, we just soften and become more relaxed about it and see. I mean, it is how does it happen that we can be aware of anything, let alone choose to be deeply aware of the neck and throat? This awareness business is really, it's mind-boggling. And what we usually do is Did you hear that? I got a weird echo. We create a self out of that. Well, I'm in here and it's out there and I'm paying attention to it and so on. And then one of the purposes of this level of experiencing is to realize that the self is an add-on. There's just experiencing. So if that were to persist, I would say do something else for a while, or be aware of that question. Is this, and then awareness is in a different place.
Hey, Robert, it's KB. How are you?
Hello, KB. I'm pretty good.
I'm glad to hear it. Listen, I have a question I was hoping you could just sort of riff on, which is, this exercise, can you talk about practical uses for it during the day when you're having trouble or whatever, I mean, I want to try to integrate this more into my life instead of making it something I do when I'm sitting. If you could just talk about that, practical use.
Actually, it's totally impractical. It's just something we do for fun and entertainment. No, I hear you. It's a very sensible question. Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I'm in my office and I'm stressed out, and how can I utilize these things we're doing? I need to find better way to integrate, I guess, to use them.
So let's say you're in your office and you're stressed out. And then somehow mysteriously awareness arises, I'm stressed out. Well, that's an interesting concept. But what's the experience? Oh, if I pause, my throat is tight. My breathing's a little fast. I'm clenching my jaw. There are thoughts and images. Maybe there are enemy images. Maybe there's disliking. Maybe there's impatience or a sense of time and there not being enough time. And any one of these objects, any one of these things that I just described could be taken as, oh dear, I just made a discovery. I thought I was being so good today. It turns out there was no picture to YouTube. Oh dear. There was sound. Shit. Oh, well. So here, I'll flick it on at the last second. There it is. The incompetence of the operator here is just it's not fathomable. I was so pleased with myself this morning. So anyway, did you get the idea there? And you could, so right now I'm anxious and uptight. Of what does anxious and uptight consist? What does it consist of? What are the experiences? And then focus on any one of them and go in, really pause and maybe holding the body, maybe holding the shoulders up, and then just pausing and softening and making your way into that.
Okay.
And you don't even have to be trying to let go of it. It will let go by itself as we actually just pay attention to it.
Okay, thanks.
And this is different from saying, well, now I'm going to stop for 5 minutes and pay attention to my breath. As opposed to, right now this is happening and awareness inhabits this, and it's just fine that it's maybe unpleasant. That's another thing you could observe, which is the unpleasantness of being stressed. And notice the disliking of that.
Yeah.
So
I've done a lot of
starting exactly where we are in every moment.
Robert,
Another voice. Kimberly. Hi.
I had a really extraordinary experience doing that that last meditation with you, and it reminded me of I remember being a child, being like in junior high, and all of a sudden wondering, who am I? Who is this? Who is this person inside? Who's thinking? And I started asking people, and no one in my community nobody was thinking of that kind of thing, and there's a piece of when we did the meditation and looked at our neck and the piece of our body, and then I could see that when I was questioning, well, who is doing the thinking? Where is that thinking piece, or where's the part that's observing? And I tried to rationalize it. Well, it's in my mind. This is the neural pathway system of, I tried to put science to it, and then I thought, well, that's not what we're talking about either. And I couldn't find it. And with each piece of it, I couldn't find it, and I could sit with just being, all right, I don't know. But then when it went to the external world and seeing, and I had my glasses off, and I'm blind as a bat without contacts or glasses, and everything was just shape and color. Mm-hmm. And I saw those, and the question of what's really out there, is that really reality, or is it what our perception, our observation of it? And my mind went to, well, it exists because we are all seeing it, all of us who can see that common thing, where we can't all feel the common thing in our because our bodies are different. But there's been this moment of like aha throughout different points of my life where I've felt that for a second, and then it goes away. Mm-hmm. But the idea of the world out there may not be out there, because it's all in this observation, in this experience. And it like recalled every time in my life, which hasn't been a lot, but the times in my life before where I've also had that little awakening. And then just as fast it seems to go away. Is that common? Is that accurate? Am I on another planet?
you're speaking to the brilliant intuition of a child, and how we get very conditioned that I'm here, you're there, and I'm the inside and you're the outside, and that that the world is real, that what's really real is that. And we lose contact with the fact of our own direct experience internally, which is very different from that. And so I hear you describing that you have had, there have been intuitions, moments of very clear knowing of a different reality. And our practice is about developing that capacity to be not identified with the perceptions and objects of the world, but to drop into our true nature. But we're very deeply conditioned to believe in the separate self. So thank you for that sharing.
Robert, it's John.
Hello, John. I see you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about your use of the gong.
Yes.
Because I think my background and my history is closely allied with music and sound. And so the first time you hit the gong, it was like dropping a pebble in a still pond. It hits in the center of my heart and just ripples outward, and I'm almost completely consumed by the sound of sitting in the sound itself. And it's I can almost do that voluntarily at times, because when I listen to a piece of music, I can get completely lost in it and experience it very directly, and experience all the voices within a piece of music itself, equally so. And it's really bizarre. And this has occurred since I have been coming to Sangha and been doing mindfulness and this sort of thing. So I think we all find different ways to integrate the experiences we have, and we use the tools that we're familiar with. And part of the challenge is to expand the use of those tools.
Amen. What is it that you did so much around music in your life?
Well, I was a music major originally, and then I was a professional musician for a while. And right now I've been working with player piano and reproducing pianos for 35 years. And
what a trip!
So I've been working with Stanford University with they've got a new player collection, so I've been working a little bit with them too.
You mean these are player pianos that have the paper strips and all that? The rolls.
Yeah.
So there are new rolls being created?
Oh yeah.
Who knew? That's a trip.
Yeah, it is. And we're trying right now. We're at the point of time of trying to preserve all the old rolls that are available, that are around, and I'm trying to create lists of collections of worlds from around the world, from Norway and Argentina and places like this, that so people can access the rolls, and we also have a way to digitally preserve the rolls. So we scan or read the rolls, and then we actually preserve them as MIDI files and MP3 files, with all the expression, with all of the way and particular nuances that the pianist put in there.
How cool is that? Huh. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
It's very
Glad
interesting.
to share.
Well, folks, time to close. It's a little afternoon already. Is anybody sitting with something you really want to share that's important before we go? I'm having waves of, what would I call it? It's like frustration, disappointment. It's not self-recrimination, but I look over at this computer and it's like, it was so obvious that the second frame wasn't full, but I just didn't see it. I do need to create a checklist again. So I guess we just do, as my father put it, we do the best we are, and but it's frustrating, isn't it, when things don't work like you want? Oh, there's Molly. Hi, Molly. Would you like to lead us this morning in our song? All right, let me get to you. So, thank you all for coming. I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow morning and the mornings during the week. And may mindfulness really be central in our lives. All right, where'd you go, Molly? Oh, there you are, Aaron and Molly. Just a moment, I'm going to highlight you because I want to see you. Spotlight for everyone. There you. Oh, there's two. There's two of you. Hi.
They multiply.
You're multiplying. Well, nice.
Be
Happy. Oh, there's another one. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, thank you, dear friends. Thanks for the song, everybody. Remove spotlight.
Thank you, everybody.
Come back here.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, everyone.
Great afternoon.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Robert.
So long. So long.
Thank you. Ciao for now.
Thanks for checking in, Frank.
Thank you, Jim.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
Robert.
You're welcome.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Launch. Well, darn, I am sorry, friends on Facebook and YouTube. Chances are you're not even still there, I would guess, with no picture. But better next time, I hope. Bye-bye. I guess it's this way.